Licky here and welcome to my São Paulo blog, which I'm really excited to share with you because it is an amazing city, but also it is the most dangerous place I have visited in South America. I have so many things I want to share with you about São Paulo, good and bad, so I'm making this travel blog and I hope it really will help to plan your São Paulo visit better. Also, as you might notice, this blog is a bit different format because I usually just travel and comment on the spot there, what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. This time it's different. I'm here in my hotel room in São Paulo and I'm just recording it here because the whole time I've been in São Paulo, I've actually been scared to take my phone out. Yes, it's been that bad. So let me get into everything step by step, location by location. So when talking about São Paulo, I think there isn't super specific places I want to recommend. It's more about the areas. I want to explain each area, the danger in it, and why it is popular, what to see there. So basically, I'm just gonna cover different areas in São Paulo. So first area is Paulista area, which is definitely a must visit, and also it's kind of like the safest and best area where to stay. So historically it was a big culture center. There was loads of cinemas, theaters. Now it's a lot of business buildings and shopping centers. But still there are a lot of museums, a lot of good famous museums on the Paulista Avenue, a lot of good shopping. It's still a very busy, vibrant street. You can, then they have a special track for the bicycles, so you can go roller skating or go with the bicycles. Like, it's a really fun big street to definitely visit, and the area around that big avenue is definitely safe for you to stay. In Paulista, I definitely recommend visiting the art museum. It's one of the best art museums in Brazil, and really you can find really famous pieces there. And also, which was my favorite part, which I always prefer, is the new artists of Brazil. And yeah, the artworks that we saw there was absolutely amazing. And the best part, they have such a deep story behind them. I don't want to go too much into this, but basically there is a big problem in Brazil with the Amazon, with the deforestation, and people, fighting against it, and then a lot of people interested in ruining Amazon. So it is a big problem that's happening at the moment, and I love how the local artists try to express it in their art. In São Paulo, you will find many amazing rooftop terraces that have excellent restaurants and bars, and you can enjoy such beautiful views of the city. But unfortunately, they all are super expensive. That's why I actually discovered this one rooftop that is for free. There is a cafe, so you can have a coffee up there, but you don't have to. You can just get up there, enjoy the beautiful views, and don't pay anything. Also, another great museum is actually in a building next door to this rooftop terrace, and on the 4th floor and on the 5th floor there is an amazing museum that perfectly summarizes the history of Brazil. So it's not a big massive history museum, but it perfectly has summarized all the events and all the important details about Brazil. Another area I want to highlight is Vila Madalena, and it's like a really cool, kind of like a hipster new area, and the best part of it is the Batman Alley. You'll find a lot of famous Brazilian mural and graffiti artist artwork there, and just the whole area is really colorful and fun and like a bit of a hipster vibe. So it's really cool to be there, and it's actually a good and safe area to stay at too. If you are planning your visit to São Paulo, you probably have come across an area called Liberdade, which is like a Japanese area in Brazil, in São Paulo. And it was highly recommended by everyone, but I must admit I went there and I didn't find it that special. Like, if you have loads of time in São Paulo, definitely go visit. There are some amazing Asian restaurants, but if you are short on time, I wouldn't include that in my travel plans. If São Paulo do get a bit too much for you, then definitely visit Ibirapuera. I hope I said it correct. Park, which is absolutely incredible park. It's huge, so there will be space for everyone. Also, there are specific entrances, so it's really safe, and it's just an amazing place where to escape Sao Paulo madness, because it can get a bit crazy at some time. There are loads of things you can do in the park, do different sports, have a picnic, but my favorite thing to do was to rent bicycles and go around the park with the bicycles. It was so much fun. Okay, and the final area, downtown. It really did shock me a lot. I mean, downtown is where the historic center was and still is, so it's full and with amazing architecture examples, so many things happening there, shopping centers, life, business center. Like, downtown is, you know, a very busy area, and you definitely have to visit if you want to learn more about Brazil and Sao Paulo. That's the place you go to. That's the place where you have a walking tour. I did a free walking tour and I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna put the details in my blog. You have to visit downtown, but downtown at the same time is the most dangerous area in Sao Paulo. The reason behind it is because there is just extremely bad situation regarding homeless people. Like, I'm not gonna be dramatic. There is literally a homeless person every 3 meters. And if it isn't, then at the end of 20 meters, it's gonna be a whole village of homeless people. And it's really, really sad, but a lot of them are drug addicts. And that's where the danger kicks in, because when people are on drugs, or obviously they want drugs, then that's the moment they can get dangerous. And I felt so uncomfortable most of my time when I was in downtown. It genuinely has been the most dangerous city I have been so far in South America. And I've traveled South America for 6 months. I've been to many cities, and Sao Paulo is the first place where I actually really feel uncomfortable and a bit scared sometimes. This is actually the main reason I'm filming this video completely differently now, because I was genuinely scared to pull out my phone. Not even like even to check my time or even to check the directions. I went into a shopping center or a pharmacy and then I checked my phone. I was like, there was no way I'm pulling my phone out in the downtown, especially if I'm alone. When I was with a group and we were viewing the city, of course, I made my videos finally. But for example, we stayed in downtown the first days when we arrived to Sao Paulo, and we just went to the local shop and, you know, to explore the local area. And I literally left my phone at home. That was my first impression. Obviously, after a few days, I started to take my phone with me and I started to feel a bit more safe. But the first 2 days, I left my phone at home, and I was very uncomfortable the first 2 days in Sao Paulo. So yeah, imagine me. I'm just arriving to Sao Paulo. I'm staying in downtown, and actually in the most dangerous part, I would say the second most dangerous part in downtown. That's where I was staying. And imagine, I arrived to check in. We were renting like an apartment, so it was like an apartment block, and it was all automated check-in. And I was standing there outside trying to check in, trying to get into the apartment building, and there is a homeless person literally next to the entrance in a tent, solving crossword puzzles. And I was just like, okay. I get in, then the first thing, I just wanted to get some water to the nearby shop. I get out of the building and I have this homeless person on drugs, or I don't know. There was a puddle on the street and he had a blanket and he was trying to clean the puddle on the street. Like, cars are driving there and he's just there shouting something and trying to clean the street with his blanket. It's like, soak up the puddle. And I was just like, imagine, I'm just arriving and I'm seeing all this. And obviously then I started to get really interested, like, where am I? Where have I booked? What's happening? And I look up online, and it turns out that in that area there is a place called Cracklandia, and it's basically a big massive square that the homeless people have taken over, and it's just like a big massive tent village village of homeless people setting up tents and living there, and it's like their own little city, and it's called Cracklandia. Like, I've read that, and I think the next day I was really considering leaving the house or not. Like, it was a very, very fun, crazy first days in Sao Paulo. As you can gather, I booked rest of my days in Sao Paulo in somewhere else. But of course, downtown is the historic center. There is so much to see and do, and really, if you wanna see and feel the history of Sao Paulo, then that's the place to be. So as I said, I highly recommend doing a tour there. And there is this one cathedral, it's called Sé. It's one of the most beautiful and amazing cathedrals. And I only got a few shots from the sides because when I was doing the tour guide didn't even go close to the cathedral, and he told us not to go, and if we do go, in no way take your phones out and don't make pictures, because apparently it's like a place where there is a lot of people just waiting for tourists to take out their phones so they can steal the phones. And of course, if you tell me things like that, like, I have to go there, I have to see it myself. So after the tour, I went to see the cathedral and what's the situation, and I was just in pure shock. Like, I've never seen this in any other place. It's one of the main places, one of the main squares, one of the main cathedrals. It's like, you know, it's like Eiffel Tower in Paris, or like, you know, a very, very significant place in the city, and it was just covered with homeless people. And you could see, when I was walking through there, you could see people looking at you like that was the most uncomfortable moment I experienced in Sao Paulo. And then I understood what the guide was talking about, because I thought, like, how bad can it be? Like, how bad? And then I went there, and it's really, really bad. The only time I filmed was when I was next to the police car and when I was like at the back of the cathedral. So yeah, definitely, if you do go and check that church, cathedral and square yourself, be very, very careful with your belongings. But one really, really cool place that I absolutely loved, and I would go there again and again, is the local market. So the local market is made into this, you probably have seen it in other European cities, where they make like these historical markets into still markets that sell stuff, but also loads of cafes. So it's that kind of a concept, where before it was like the market of the city, the main market, but now it's just like a really, really cool, vibrant place where to go for a lunch. And if you can, definitely visit on a weekend, because then it's like super busy, and so many like locals go there for like Saturday and Sunday lunches, and it's just like such an amazing atmosphere. Like, I think that was one of my favorite places in Sao Paulo. So the only problem is that it's in a downtown area, so you probably just want to take a taxi or Uber there, because the actual market itself is safe. I mean, always be wary of your belongings, always, everywhere in Sao Paulo, even in Paulista, even in very fancy, nice areas, just always watch your belongings. But yeah, the market itself is completely fine. Okay, so these were all the best things that I enjoyed and loved in Sao Paulo, and you can add to your travel plans. Now, just to summarize regarding where to stay, I definitely highly recommend staying in Paulista or Vila Madalena area, because they are safe, they are good areas, and also at the same time, there is things to do there. There are amazing restaurants, so you won't need to drive too much around with taxi or metro. You can just, you know, be around the area you stay at. Regarding getting around Sao Paulo, definitely highly recommend not using taxi, but use Uber, because taxi charges 2 times more. Also, Uber tends to be a safer option in general in South America to use, and not the local taxis, unfortunately. Also, funny enough, metro is actually like the safe zone. So by the locals, we were told that if we feel uncomfortable in any area, just get into metro, because like the bad guys don't go to metro, don't get into metro. And yeah, it's kind of like the safe zone, and it's really organized, it's very clean, it's very safe. We used metro to get around the city. It was very cheap and good, so I definitely highly recommend using metro. And then if obviously you need to get somewhere very specific, then Uber. Also, I just want to add something positive, so it's not just negative. And this is in general in Brazil. You can pay everywhere with a card. Even like the smallest little water or chocolate, you can pay with a card. So that's been absolutely amazing change from rest of South America. But please don't be discouraged by this video. I really hope I showed a lot of positives, because there are a lot of positives. There are so many amazing places which were to see and visit, like the park, the local market. Like, I absolutely loved my time. When I got more comfortable with the city, I really enjoyed the city. The people are lovely. Everyone we met have been so helpful, so friendly. We really felt so welcome in Sao Paulo. So people been amazing. The weather is amazing. The metro system is amazing, which is great. You can get everywhere. Like, there are so many positives. I really hope this video will help to plan your visit to Sao Paulo better. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It helps me a lot to reach more people, to show these videos to more people, to help others plan their trips. So yeah, a like from you means the world to me. And if you want to see more content from Brazil, then make sure to subscribe to my channel.